Hi world, it's May the 2nd, it's May bank holiday in the UK, it's about midday. This is my astrological forecast for May of this month. You know when you get on a commuter train and you get to the end of the line and you hear this voice over the tannoy going, all change. That's where we are now. This month, all change. So let's first of all look at what's not happening. What's not happening? Well, Venus is trundling nicely through Aries most of this month. Fine. Don't see a problem. Neptune is boogieing along nicely in Pisces, breaking new ground. Certainly influencing those people born a week before. You know, those Neptune's certainly hammering those people born around the 15th, 16th of March. And the 17th and 18th of September. But that's a standalone thing. Pluto also is standing still. Pluto will be going retrograde at the end of this month, start of next month. He's standing still at 28 degrees of Capricorn, particularly impacting on those born around the 18th, 19th of January and those born around the 21st of July. But again, relatively standalone. It's what else is going on. There are 3 big events this month that are going to change everything, really. Individually, they're not enough to change everything, but collectively they are. So let's look at these. Firstly, we've got a Mercury retrograde. Oh, don't you love it when you hear me say that? There's a Mercury retrograde starting on the 10th of May. And it continues on in the background until about the 3rd of June. And as Mercury retrogrades go, it's relatively tame in that it's not directly hitting any of the big outer planets, although when it stands still at the end of May and the start of June, it will be squaring Saturn strongly, not exactly, but strongly, for about a week, the first week of June. The Mercury retrograde will be in the first 4 degrees of Taurus, for the last 5 or 6 degrees, first 4 degrees of Aries, first 4 degrees of Gemini and the last 5 or 6 degrees of Taurus. So it's going to particularly impact on those people born around the 16th, 17th through to about the 25th, 26th of May, and perhaps also the 17th to the 27th of November. But it's a standalone thing. It's all right, except for that period at the very start of June where it's standing still square Saturn. In addition to this, in the middle of May, on the 16th of May at 5:15 a.m. UK time, we have a total eclipse of the moon in Scorpio. It will be full moon in Scorpio with the eclipse happening at the moment of full moon, naturally. In the UK and Western Europe, we probably won't see it, or if we do see it, it won't be that significant because it will be dawn. So we may see the full moon as it's setting, changing colour a little bit. But if you're in America, north or south, you will see quite a spectacular full moon eclipse in Scorpio. And it's on the 16th, I think. 16th of May? Yeah, 16th of May. 25 degrees Scorpio. Now, that full moon in Scorpio, it's going to be weekly sextiling Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio. It's going to be very strongly trining Neptune. Lovely. It's also going to be very strongly squaring Saturn. Not so lovely. When I see a full moon, sextile Pluto, trine Neptune, square Saturn, I think, the good outweighs the bad outweighs the good. I sit on the fence on this one and say, okay, it's going to be difficult to call this one, but wait a minute, it's in Scorpio and it's a total eclipse. So this to me is a harbinger of change. have a look at your personal chart. Have a look at anything based around 25 degrees of the fixed signs: Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. See what that eclipse hits, and if it hits something strong in a challenging way, then just be a little bit more attentive, a little bit more cautious on the day of the eclipse. But this isn't all. We've had 5 planets in Pisces during April. We had a lovely couple of days where the Moon and Venus and Mars and Jupiter and Neptune were all together in Pisces. And there was that lovely time when Jupiter-Neptune conjunction happened. And everyone got a little bit hyper and a bit over the top. And there's a lot of personal, emotional drama for a lot of people. But it died away. Now at the start of this month, we've still got 4 planets in Pisces. But Venus leaves Pisces today and moves into Aries. Jupiter leaves Pisces and moves into Aries on the 10th of May. Mars leaves Pisces and moves into Aries on the 24th of May. So all this is this really big shift from water into fire. Now, of all this water, there's been a lot of compassion, empathy, kindness, a lot of moral outrage about the war, about politics, about economics, about the cost of living. People have been getting upset. Their emotions and feelings have been running riot. Now all that energy is going to move from water into fire. There's going to be a lot more action. And here's the crunch. Mars will conjoin with Jupiter on the 29th of May. So a couple of days each side of it. Mars and Jupiter will be together at 1 to 4 degrees of Aries at the very start of the zodiac. Mars conjunct Jupiter in itself isn't a bad aspect. It's very enthusiastic and bubbly, but it's at the very start of Aries, which Mars does rule, so it can be a bit gung-ho, a bit explosive and a bit warlike. When you add to this that we're still recovering from a total eclipse of the Moon in Scorpio, and at the same time as the Mars-Jupiter conjunction, we've got Mercury standing still going retrograde, but standing still squaring Saturn for a week, it suggests to me that as we get into the last few days of May and the first few days of April, it's very much playground politics. People are going to be saying, don't push me, you know, don't make me hit you. There's going to be a lot of posturing. There's not going to be a lot of backing down. Mars conjunct Jupiter is going to big everything up out of proportion. Mercury square Saturn is going to go, these are my boundaries, don't push. And it could get quite nasty. Just for a very few days. If it's going to get difficult, it will be in the last 3 days of this month, maybe the 1st of June. There is that new moon on the 30th of June, on the 30th of May, at 9 degrees of Gemini, which isn't impacting on anything else in the sky. It's quite a nice new moon, but it's not enough to allay my fears over what's coming up at the end of this month. Fears is a strong word. Concerns is a better word. Now, this is likely to have a global impact, whether it be in terms of the amoral political situations in the UK, France, Australia, America, India. We're sick of these politicians lying, cheating, partying while everyone else is on lockdown, watching pornography on their mobile phones when they're supposed to be debating ways to make our lives better for us. I'm sick of them. Absolutely sick of them. Could equally be a lot of concerns around the sudden escalation in prices of all the vital services like water, gas, electric. And there may be a bit more action on that. And of course, the situation in Ukraine could suddenly come to a sudden impasse, especially if Russia doesn't seem to be getting its way. So at the very end of May, the very start of June, there might be some type of sudden action designed to make or break situations. I think this period at the end of May and the start of June is the last big signal for major drama of this year. Yes, we got Mars conjunct Uranus coming up in July, August. Not too bothered about that. I think this period at the end of May represents the end of the difficult times of 2022. It doesn't mean it's all going to be sweetness and light after that. It does mean that the crisis and the danger levels are going to go down a notch by the second week of June, and from then on we can start, perhaps most of us can start beginning to have a more stable, routine, normal life once again, although we can't go back to being the way it was pre-Ukraine, pre-COVID. Those days are gone. It's time for the new now. More on that over this coming month. Hope this has been interesting and helpful. Thanks, people. Catch you later. Bye.